Today we're going to talk about scholarships for your children, girls. How do you go about it? How do you do it? I worked on it my whole life from when I was 10 years old until I got scholarships. I played football and baseball at Clemson University on scholarship, full scholarship. Now, full scholarship means they give you your books, your tuition, room and board, and things like that. And, it could be very expensive now. Like the one school I know somebody's going to, George Washington, but right out of St. Louis, it's costing $70,000 per year for that boy. Now, if you have 3-4 kids, or even one, how can you pay it? If you're making normal wages like most people make. So it's a lot of work. Now, I'm assuming that all the children we're talking about today, your boys and girls, started playing sports at, say, the age of 10. And then when they're 17, if they go through and they get a scholarship, they would go on to college. I'm not talking about people that don't play until they're 16 or 17. There's too much to learn about sports. I don't care what you play. If you play football, basketball, baseball, and then tennis. I played a lot of tennis, or what do you have on TV going now around the world. But so I'm assuming all your children started playing around 10, and they've been working their way up, and working their way up the ladder. And they also know what the competition looks like of people their age. So those are the people they're going to be fighting. Actually, they're friends sometimes. And all the people in an area that they live are going to be trying to get the same scholarships if the only school around there is 1 or 2 colleges. Naturally, if you live in New York and you're trying to get a scholarship in a school in California, that's different. I'm not saying you can't do it. It's going to take some traveling. Now, one thing your children need in every sport they play is they have to make videos. And this is very important because I worked on with somebody with some soccer lately and couldn't find a video in his high school, nowhere. And the first thing the guy says, I want to see a video on him. So whatever your children are playing as they're coming up, we need to make videos. And then if we wanted to, we can send a video when they're 14, 15, 16, 17. But you've got to have videos because these coaches around the country, they're not going to have time to come to town to these little games and watch them and all that traveling when they can see your son or daughter on a video. So let's make videos. That's the most important thing. Years ago, it didn't matter because they didn't make videos like they make them now. But the other thing is get them lifting weights, I think. I lifted weights because that's the only thing to build your strength. And they should have some kind of a coach helping them or a tutor and working out with weights 3 days a week, or whatever it is, as boys and girls, to get the strength because they're going to be playing against people that have that strength. If they don't lift weights and everybody around them does, they're going to get knocked down and they're going to get run over. So we have the videos, and I'm assuming all the boys and girls 10 and up have played since they were 10 every year. And I also assume they've been in leagues, like in baseball, you play Little League, and then you play Pony League, and then you play the one at 16, the Junior League, and then after that I played semi-pro baseball because when I was playing in Pittsburgh in high school, the best teacher we could find was a black guy on the other side of town. So I went over there with this other guy I knew, and we played for that team in the semi-pro league because he was coach that I've seen during those times. In fact, he's the only coach I ever had, and that includes Clemson, everywhere I played baseball, that taught me how to slide, that had sliding practice. And I've never seen anybody have it yet, of all the teams that I watched and the games I went to. So we the best person we could find. He was a black guy, he was in his 50s, and he played AAA baseball. We found he never made to the majors, AAA, and he was a very, very good coach. So the other thing is we're coming up the line, and everybody's on the same boat. How do we get to the teachers? How do we get to the pros? Like I called a guy about a year ago. I called the head coach at Clemson. I said, look, this kid playing in Saukestie, quarterback, I went out and looked at him the other night. I made my wife go, and I thought he was good. But anyway, when I got back after the game, I called the head coach at Clemson. I said, look, this guy's not a quarterback, but he can play football. And since then, they drafted him. He went to Clemson, and I think he was All-American end, and he has front page on Sports Illustrated. So there are people around that played like me, and whether you want to say I'm a scout or what, I have sent out players. And if you could find those kind of people that played for these big teams and get them to give your son or daughter a reference, that'll definitely help. But say your daughter wants to go to some school in Alabama or Tennessee or whatever, the other thing to do is get recommendations from people and send them to the coaches and say, my daughter like to come here, she wants a scholarship, if she can get it. And these are recommendation letters and videos from people that saw her play. And I think that would help, because the schools have scouts, the big schools. If you're going to play for Notre Dame or Boston College or Penn State, don't worry, they have people on their payroll as a scout. And if they think you're good enough, they could send him right to where you're playing in West Virginia on a Saturday or Friday night. Say, you go scout this guy and tell us what you think. There are also a lot of real people in the country that have given money to these schools. The person goes to the school, say it's Tennessee. This guy went to Tennessee, he liked it, whether he played football or not. Now he donates a lot of money to Tennessee. And it wouldn't hurt to go see that guy, if he lives near you, and see if he'd give you a recommendation to the coach. Say, I watched this guy play, I went to Tennessee, I'm a big supporter, and I like him, I would recommend him to the head football coach. Now that don't mean the head football coach is going to do it, because he probably figures you don't know what you're talking about. But I'm telling you how people get scholarships. Because I know when I played in college, half the people that got there, I couldn't figure out how the HELL, they got a scholarship to go to college, a full scholarship. I couldn't figure it out. But then after I've been in this for a while, I can see if they know a guy that knows a guy and he makes some calls, just like I knew a guy in Pittsburgh. Scholarships are hard to get because I was playing in a city league in Pittsburgh, and that was a lower league than what, say, Ditka played in. Ditka, I heard, had 300 scholarships, played in Aliquippa, Mike Ditka. But our city league, though, was below that level, so the scouts wanted to go watch them play, Altoona, Aliquippa, people like that, Wilkinsburg. They figured we were in a lower league, they didn't care nothing about us. So naturally, you have to get out there and search and make calls. There was this one guy I knew well. I think I took out his daughter. I was friends with his daughter, and he was big in the furniture business. And he bought furniture from this guy in Greensboro. I never saw him in my life. But he said, go talk to the guy in Greensboro. Turns out the guy in Greensboro was some kind of scout for Clemson, and that's how I got the scholarship. So it was somebody I knew. He referred me to another guy. I got a full scholarship. 4 years, they paid everything. But you see, when you're searching around, you don't know. Don't think if you have a son or daughter going to sit in the house, somebody's going to call you. No, you got to go around and start talking to people See where the connections are. There's somebody in every community that went to Notre Dame or has a connection there. Find out who that person is, and he can give you some people to call at Notre Dame. And you could call them or send your son or daughter, and let them look at. But that's what you have to do. If you sit in your house, you're not going to get nothing. Zero. You have to get out, beat the bushes. And if you sit in your house and do nothing, your son and daughter, they're going to be very mad at you because they want to go to college and they figure they need a scholarship. And they figure you could get it if you would go out and just get some of these connections that you know or that you could find out. And then once these people get an appointment at Notre Dame or whoever, then you send your son and daughter and he would work out. They give you one free trip and they bring you on a trip to the school. They don't necessarily watch you work out there, but they talk to you because they'll have the videos on you. But they don't let you work out, because you come up there, you can get hurt for one thing. But this is a small portion of how this goes with these scholarships. It's not easy, I'll tell you that. And most people don't get them, and they don't think they're going to get them. Like I know a woman now, she says her sons need scholarships for basketball. But I could tell nobody's doing nothing. And actually the woman doing this program here, it's her sister, but they're not doing nothing. They're not going around. They're not calling the basketball coaches around the country. Say, look, because their one kid is at least 6'8" or 10. I mean, he is big. But they're not going to come to you. You have to go out there and get them. And that's happening right now because I don't know basketball that much. I'm not going to lie to you. And I haven't played basketball. Too short. Only 6 foot. 6 foot. In high school, I was 6 foot, 190, something like that. But basketball, you have to be, 6'8", 6'10". And there are a lot of people like that. But she has to go hitting those people, those different schools, getting the videos and send them. I can't tell her who to send because I don't know the people in basketball. Some of the people in football, baseball, I know. Anyway, this thing's coming to a head right now. We're already in July. So you got to get moving. You want to get your kids lined up. And the first thing, they got to take the entrance test. They got to take the test, and they got to have a pretty good score on these tests. And if they don't have something real high, forget about Ivy League. You're wasting your time. Yale, Harvard, unless it's off the sheets. Forget it. Very hard to get in there. But all these other schools, though, if they have a pretty good test score, then we can send them out and send videos. And we're going to talk some more about this because we're in the middle of the season now, and people are looking to go to school for next year or the year after that, and they got to go through all these things if they're 11th and 12th grade. Thank you.